What's good, YouTube? It's Turtle here, and we back with a financial advice for teens, part 2. Man, y'all ran the last one up, so I thought, why not get another one for y'all? You know what I'm saying? And I told y'all get me right, I'm gonna do a part 2. But this video should be not this video, but the original video should be at 2K by the time this go up, no cap. And y'all to keep running that one up for me too. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out right now. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. And that was part 1 to this video. Now, when it comes to these advice videos, I usually do them per request via my Instagram, and that's how I ended up doing part 1. But y'all show so much love to part 1, I was like, why not come with a part 2? You know what I'm saying? But I need y'all to run this up for real. Like, for real. And then I'm gonna go into detail on each of these topics that I talk about in this video. Because this video is not going to be too much detail on each topic. This is just the tips, you know what I'm saying? And basically a general overlook of, you know what I'm saying? Each tip and what it's about. It's not, if you want me to really go in detail, I can make individual videos about each topic, but y'all really gotta run this up for me to do that, you see what I'm saying? Because it's not a financial channel, you see what I'm saying? But for you guys, I got y'all. For tip number 1, avoid debt as much as possible. Now, one of the biggest mistakes, I'm not even gonna say mistake, but one of the biggest debts you might end up getting to as a young person is student loans. Now, I'm not saying college is not the answer, but it's a lot of other options. There's trade schools, there's apprenticeships. Maybe you just need to take a year off to make sure it's really what you want to do, because a lot of people just go to college just because they feel like they need to do something right out of school. And if you don't really know what you want to do yet, between switching your major or maybe even you go all the way and get the degree and you get into the field of the job and you realize that's not what you want to do, and then you end up going back to school, you end up paying for more school, you know what I'm saying? Or you realize the job that you end up getting is not really going to really cover school, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't really worth it. Or you might not even end up getting a job that was in that field with that degree. So make sure you, is it likely that there's going to be a job available in that field? And B, am I really going to enjoy it? Is this really what I want to do before you get into college? Now, that's not the only debt I'm talking about. It could be personal debt when it comes to gambling. Y'all young people have a gambling issue, see what I'm saying? All types of debt. Just little, but one of the biggest ones is student loan debt. So make sure when you go into school, or if you're going to go to school, that's really what you want to do, because I promise you, it's a world full of options. And make sure, for you young people that's still in high school, make sure you're exploring careers. So when you get out of school, you want to know what you want to do. Even if you start exploring careers early, 10th, 11th grade, you might still end up getting out of high school and not knowing what you want to do. And if you don't want to know what to do, don't just go to school, because you're going to end up piling in debt, and you're going to end up working your whole life away for the debt. So it's basically like, you know what I'm saying, you really didn't get nothing from that degree in the first place. Tip number 2, limit your expenses. Tip number 2, limit your expenses. Now, a lot of you guys are going to be young. Some of you guys might just be graduating, you might just be turning 18, right? One of the biggest things for a lot of young people, because you can legally move out of your parents' house at 16 without them, see what I'm saying? So don't be rushing to do that, see what I'm saying? Especially if you have, you have a loving family that's caring. I know everybody's situation is different, see what I'm saying? But you want to stay home, I don't want to say as long as possible, but make sure when you leave home, you're financially ready, because you're going to run into a lot more expenses that you wouldn't have when you was living with your parents. So if your parents financially can support you, and you have a home that's loving and caring for you and supporting you, what you need to do, stay home for as long as you possibly can, or as long as you need to. But not just that. Also, when it comes to, I talk about this in my other video in part 1, if you do not need a car, do not get one. Like, if you're living down the street, and you know you're only going to be going back and forth to your job, why would you invest in your car and you end up paying the car note plus insurance? Or maybe if you even buy the car cash, and you just get a cheap car that you really don't know nothing about, and you end up putting a lot more money into it than you really need to. So just limit your expenses and think about is what do I really need this? A lot of times, what young people with their purchases, they buy stuff that is going to be either A, be a liability, or B, depreciate in value, which is fine in some cases. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't hurt to get, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you need your essentials, okay, boom, water and food, but a lot of that is going to be provided to y'all at home. So as a young person, you want to limit your expenses now, so when you get later, you can save a little bit more, and later you have money to handle expenses, especially emergency expenses that might pop up unexpected. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to borrow money from somebody else to cover expenses. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You'll end up in a lot of debt that way. Number 3, establish credit. Now, the easiest way, which I know personally the route I took, was a secured credit card. That is the easiest way for teens to establish credit. Now, keep in mind, it's going to have to be patient. It's going to take some time. Your credit score is not just going to go up overnight, especially if you're starting from nothing. But even if you're under 18 and you can't get a credit card yet, because you can't get a credit card until you're in your own name until you're 18. If you have a parent or a trusted adult that you know has good credit and makes their payments on time, put them as have them put you as an authorized user on your credit card, so you can build credit and get into the world. By the time you're 18, you can have a good credit history and go into the world with good credit before you even utilize any credits yourself. You see what I'm saying? But the easiest way, if you didn't have that option, because I know my parents didn't have the best credit, is a secured credit card. Now, there's other options like starter credit cards that go based off your income. But the thing about a secured credit card, worst case scenario, you don't have the money for your payment. They're already going to have the money for that payment, because the way a secured credit card works, you have to put money down into it, and you're basically just paying the interest rate every month. You see what I'm saying? Versus you had paid the money you borrowed plus the interest rate if you just use one of those starter credit cards or any of those cards where you didn't have to put money down. You see what I'm saying? So, and I know Time has a good starter credit card where it's basically like a secured credit card, but it's no interest rates, I believe. I don't know. You don't have to fact check me on that. But if it is an interest rate, it's a very low interest rate versus if you went to your local bank or credit union, you would have been paying a little bit higher interest rate. Tip number 4, start a business. Now, you literally, if you're watching this, you have a phone, a computer, or something, some type of device. You can literally start a business from your fingertips using little to no money. If you use some of the previous tips, you can start a business. If you establish credit at a young age, you'll be able to talk to some banks, establish business credit, and start a business with little to none of your own money. You get what I'm saying? And you literally have access to everything you need to know at your fingertips. The internet is such a beautiful thing, and it's such a beautiful tool. If you utilize it correctly, you can literally learn anything you need to know about starting a business online. Now, it's some courses that you may pay for, but I promise it's a good investment. Now, if you want me to make a video on those, what courses to look for, or where to look for certain information about starting a business, or just information about starting a business in general, jot that down below the comments, and I'll make sure to make a video on that. But you can literally do whatever, you can see, even if it's a small thing like a ghost kitchen on DoorDash. You see what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff you might not be able to do till you're 18 plus, but if you have a trusted adult who you can run the business through in their name, you know what I'm saying, you could definitely get some started right there. And last but not least, the final tip is create a source of passive income. This is literally one of the most important things, and every time it's a financial video, I will literally talk about this all the time. One of the most valuable things you have as a human being is your time. And when you go to a 9-to-5 job or any job, pretty much, even if you're a salary worker, you're basically giving up your time for your money. Now, if you take that money that you get from that 9-to-5 job or that salary job and you find a way to make it work for you, maybe have a business that you don't have to put all the way your foot in, you get what I'm saying? You're gonna have to do some type of work regardless of what you're doing, but find a way to make money. Basically, they say make money while you sleep. Basically, you wouldn't have to put anything else like investing in stocks or a mutual fund. Make sure like, let me know if y'all want me to do a video on mutual funds and stocks and stuff. But you can put your money in stocks, a mutual fund, anything that's gonna make your money work for you versus you working for your money. Something that you don't have to put a lot of time into, that's going to have a big return without you putting time into it or work, really, honestly. And you don't need hundreds or thousands of dollars to start investing or to start a business that's going to create passive income or invest in real estate or whatever. You can really start off with a couple of $100s. Do your research, learn what you want to put your money into, and make sure that it's going to have a good return rate, so it's not like that you putting your money in anything. Now, keep in mind, anything when it comes to passive income, especially when it comes to investments, is pretty much unpredictable. Even though you might be able to do research and make sure this and watch stock patterns. It's a lots of formulas and stuff like that, but all that stuff is literally unpredictable. So keep in mind, do that in your own risk, unless you put your money into a mutual fund, because those are guaranteed back. Your money is guaranteed back. You see what I'm saying? But that's going to take a little bit more time. You got to be a little bit more patient with those. See what I'm saying? But it's definitely a good investment. But that is the end of this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope some of these tips helped you out. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure you share with a couple of friends. Like, comment, and subscribe. Man, we on the road to 1K. I just need y'all to get me to 1K fast. I got a special coming for you. I can't really tell y'all what it is. If you follow me on TikTok and you be in my live, I talked about it all the time. That's why y'all need to follow my TikTok and my Instagram, because I talked a lot about the channel, a lot of stuff that I don't have time or that I don't fully release to y'all yet in these videos. You see what I'm saying? Only the real supporters that go follow my Instagram, my TikTok know about those things. You know what I'm saying? But if you want any advice on anything, if I have anything to give to y'all on it, just hit me on my Instagram and I'll make the video as soon as possible. I promise I respond to all my DMs on Instagram. I'm starting to start going live on TikTok every day. I'm currently clipped until the 15th. So I haven't been going live on TikTok recently. But yeah, road to 1K, man.